guys, so today we are going to be reading a brand new book, and this book is called Little by Little. And in this book, Otto, he's here, that's Otto. He can do many things. He can do forward roly-poly, backward roly-poly. He can be kind of frogs, but there's one thing he can't do, friends. He can't swim. So you know what? His sister helps him practice, and little by little, he starts to learn. So let's figure out by reading this book if Otto ever learns to swim. And before we start, I'll just say that this book is being read with permission from Scholastic. The author of this book is Amber Stewart, and the illustrator is Lane Marlowe. Little by little. Otto was making a list, an I can do list, and an I can't do list. The can-do side was much longer. On it was a forward roly-poly, backward roly-poly, being kind to frogs, mudsliding, making very good sandcastles, slippery rock hopping. The can't-do side was shorter. It just said swimming. Oh, Otto looks very sad. Otto looks very sad right here when everybody else is swimming. Otto, are you going to swim today? Asked Beaver. No, said Otto. Not at all, asked Bear. Not even a little. Otto sighed and went home. Don't listen to Bear and Beaver, said his mommy when Otter told her. Little by little, you will learn to swim. Otto decided he would have to keep trying. Seems to be another book about keeping trying. Sometimes Otto would pretend he could swim, but all he was doing was hopping very, very quickly along the riverbed. Other times, he would run along the riverbank, trying not to be left behind by his friends as they spun and tumbled through the water. But most days, Otto would simply sit on his favorite slippery rock, wishing and wishing from his whiskers all the way down to his toes that he could swim. Every day, his mommy would say, "Today's the day." And every day, it wasn't. Then, one sunny day, Otto and his sister were watching their friends jumping off the highest ever rock into the deepest ever pool below. You have got to start small, his sister said. Small? Yes, small, she said. Come on, today's the day to start small. That is how I did it when I learned to swim. So Otto started small. He hopped along the riverbed, keeping those toes off the bottom, just little by little, just that little bit longer every time. Then he did higher hops with floating in between. Oh, look, friends, it looks like he's starting to learn. The next day, Otto did floating without holding on to anything. Wow, that's so exciting. And pretty soon, he was kicking all the way to the halfway stone. A few days later, Otto splashed and kicked and swam the whole width of the river, from one bank to another, all by himself. Friends, it looks like Otto learned to swim. And little by little, that width became the length of a river from Otto's den to the deep ever pool. Before long, the splashing and kicking turned into gliding and roly-polies on the riverbank, became underwater tumbling. Oh, now he's under the water. Look at Otto go. When he was ready, Otto invited his friends and family to come see his big surprise. When everyone gathered along the riverbank, Otto jumped off the highest ever rock into the deepest ever pool. I did it, said Otto to his sister. I can really swim. Yes, you really can. You really can, laughed his sister, hugging her very wet little brother. You see, you started small and finished big. The end. So, friends, this was such a great book. But Otto, he did not give up. And what a great big sister he has that taught him that it's okay to start small if you want to learn something. So sometimes if you're learning to swim, You have to start in the shallow end. You have to start by doing small things. And he learned just like Otto. Otto learned to swim by starting small, and he finished big by jumping off the highest ever rock into the deepest ever water. So, friends, I want to know from you, what is something you learned to do that you learned to do little by little? Whether it was swimming or writing your name or skating. I know a friend in class learned to skate, or writing your numbers, or I don't know, anything. What is something you learned to do by doing it little by little? So something I learned to do little by little is that when I was little, very, very little, when I was 2, I was put on the ice for the first time to ice skate. And at first I couldn't do it. I stood in one place the whole lesson and I did not move. But you know what? Every single day that I came back, I started to move a little. And then I took steps. And then I started to glide. And then I started to move. So I was able to go little by little until I was able to skate on my own. And I was able to do that for a very long time. So what is something you learned to do little by little? I can't wait to hear your answer.
See you next time.